Opening scene, a calm neighborhood park. Soft chirping of birds, children playing in the background. A young man, Arjun, is jogging peacefully with headphones on. His breath is steady as he smiles at the morning sunshine. Arjun voiceover. Life can change in an instant. One moment, you're running free, and the next you're fighting for your life. Scene transition. A stray dog appears in the distance. A large, aggressive stray dog growls as it locks eyes with Arjun. The jogger slows down, alarmed, removing his headphones. Arjun voiceover. I didn't see it coming. But the danger was already waiting for me. The dog charges at Arjun. He tries to run, but the dog leaps, knocking him to the ground. Arjun struggles, screaming as the dog bites into his arm. The camera captures the chaos, the sound of barking, Arjun's desperate attempts to fend the dog off. Cut 2. Hospital room. Arjun wakes up in a hospital bed, his arm heavily bandaged. A doctor stands nearby, looking concerned. Doctor. You were lucky, Arjun. The bite wounds will heal, but during the attack, you hit your head hard on the pavement. There's swelling in your brain. Arjun voiceover. The dog attack was just the beginning. The real battle was inside my own head. Montage. Arjun struggles. Scenes of Arjun trying to regain strength. He fumbles during physical therapy, collapses while trying to walk, and stares at himself in the mirror with frustration. Arjun. Why me? Why now? His mother holds his hand, offering silent support. Mother. Because you're strong enough to survive this, Beta. One step at a time. Scene. Arjun's determination. Arjun watches motivational videos, practices walking with a cane, and does brain exercises to improve focus. Each attempt brings progress. Arjun voiceover. I realized surviving wasn't just about healing, it was about believing I could. Climactic scene. Jogging again. Months later, Arjun is back at the same park. He takes a deep breath, starts jogging slowly, and this time, he smiles with confidence. Arjun voiceover. Life will knock you down. But survival isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about getting back up, stronger than ever. Ending scene. Arjun looks at the sunrise. The camera pans to the sun rising in the distance, symbolizing hope. Arjun smiling. I survived the impossible. And so can you? Scene support group meeting. Arjun sits in a circle of chairs with a few other individuals. The room is simple, with warm lighting. Everyone shares stories of survival. Support group leader. Today, we're talking about resilience. Arjun, would you like to share your stories? Arjun hesitates, looking down at his hands. Then he nods. Arjun, I never thought I'd be here. A year ago, I was just living my life. But then, that attack and the brain injury, everything changed. At first, I wanted to give up. I was angry, scared, and ashamed of needing help. But, he pauses, looking around the group, I learned that strength isn't about going through life without scars. It's about wearing those scars as proof that you survived. The group nods, some smiling. A woman wipes a tear from her cheek. Scene. Flashback of breakthrough moments. Quick cuts show Arjun overcoming challenges, managing balance exercises, doing meditation to calm his mind, laughing with his mother during a silly mishap, and learning to trust therapy dogs again. Arjun voiceover. The journey wasn't easy. There were setbacks, bad days, and moments where I thought I'd never feel like myself again. But I kept pushing. I didn't just heal. I grew stronger. Scene. Confronting the fear. Arjun walks into a shelter for rescue dogs. His heart races as he hears barking. A staff member, Priya, greets him. Priya. Arjun. Welcome back. Are you ready to meet Bruno? Arjun nods nervously. Priya leads him to a calm, golden retriever, mix wagging its tail. Arjun voiceover. I couldn't live in fear anymore. I knew I had to face it head on. And what better way than to give a second chance to a dog in need? Arjun kneels, letting Bruno sniff his hand. The dog licks his fingers, and Arjun smiles faintly, then relaxes. Scene. Public speaking event. Arjun stands on a stage in front of a small crowd. A projector displays a picture of him in the hospital, followed by one of him jogging again. Arjun. Fear can paralyze us. Pain can make us want to stop. But resilience? Resilience reminds us that we're capable of so much more. I was attacked by a dog, faced a brain injury, and thought my life was over. But here I am, standing in front of you, living proof that survival is possible, and so is thriving. The audience claps, some standing. Arjun's mother sits in the front row, wiping tears from her eyes. Bruno sits by Arjun's side, wearing a therapy dog vest. Closing scene, a new beginning. Arjun jogs through the park again, this time with Bruno by his side. The sunrise paints the sky in hues of orange and pink. Arjun looks at the horizon, full of determination. Arjun voiceover. Life isn't about avoiding the storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And no matter what comes next, I'm ready. Scene. Arjun's home. A new chapter. Arjun is sitting on his couch, petting Bruno, who is now fully comfortable in his new home. Arjun looks at a framed photo of himself during his recovery, placed next to a medal he received from completing his first 5K run post-recovery. Arjun voiceover. Bruno became more than just a companion. He was a symbol of how far I'd come. Together, we were proof that healing is possible for both humans and animals. Arjun smiles at Bruno, who wags his tail in response. He picks up his phone and starts typing an email. Scene. Community event planning. Arjun meets with a small team of volunteers at a community center. A poster on the wall reads, Resilience Run, supporting survivors and rescue animals. Arjun addresses the group. Arjun. When I was recovering, I felt alone. But I know now that no one has to go through challenges alone. That's why this event matters. It's not just about running. It's about showing survivors, whether human or animal, that there's hope and a community that cares. The team nods enthusiastically, brainstorming ideas for the event. Scene. Training with Bruno. Arjun and Bruno jog together in preparation for the Resilience Run. Along the way, they pass a family with a child who looks hesitant around dogs. Arjun slows down, kneeling beside Bruno to make him sit. Arjun. It's okay. Bruno's really friendly. Want to pet him? The child hesitates, but steps forward, gently touching Bruno's fur. The dog stays calm, and the child laughs with delight. Child's parent. Thank you. She's been scared of dogs since she was little. Arjun smiling. I get it. I was too. But sometimes, facing our fears shows us the beauty we've been missing. Scene. Resilience Run, the big day. The event is bustling with energy. People of all ages gather at the starting line, some wearing shirts that read, I am a survivor. Others bring their rescue dogs. Booths are set up with adoption opportunities, brain injury awareness pamphlets, and therapy dog demonstrations. Arjun stands on stage with a microphone, Bruno sitting beside him. Arjun. Welcome, everyone, to the first ever Resilience Run. Today, we celebrate survival, courage, and second chances. Whether you're here as a survivor, a supporter, or just someone looking to make a difference, know that your presence matters. The crowd cheers as the race begins. Arjun and Bruno lead the way, running side by side. Scene. Post-run celebration. Arjun sits on a bench with Bruno, watching participants cross the finish line. A young woman approaches, with her own rescue dog. Young woman. Thank you for organizing this. I've struggled with anxiety after my accident, and seeing someone like you gives me hope. Arjun smiling. You're stronger than you think. And if I can make it through, so can you. Scene. Expanding the Resilience Project. Arjun is sitting at a table with a small team of volunteers and a web developer. A whiteboard displays the words, The Resilience Project, Goals for 2025. Bullet points include storytelling workshops, partnerships with animal shelters, and national awareness campaigns. Volunteer 1. What if we create a podcast series? People could share their survival stories in their own words. Volunteer 2. That's a great idea. We could even feature therapy animal trainers and survivors who've worked with them. Arjun nodding. I love it. Let's call it Voices of Resilience. We'll share not just my story, but the stories of so many others who found strength in the face of adversity. The team cheers, brainstorming ideas as the energy in the room grows. Scene: Therapy Animal Certification. Arjun and Bruno are at a certification class for therapy dogs. The trainer observes as Arjun guides Bruno through a series of tests, including staying calm in a busy environment and responding to commands. Bruno performs flawlessly. Trainer: Congratulations, Arjun. Bruno is now a certified therapy dog. Arjun, smiling: Thank you. This means a lot. I want Bruno to help others the way he's helped me. Arjun hugs Bruno, who wags his tail happily. Scene: First podcast episode recording. Arjun sits in a recording studio, headphones on, speaking into a microphone. A producer signals from behind the glass window. Arjun: Welcome to the first episode of Voices of Resilience. Today, I want to share my story. It started with a dog attack that changed my life forever, but it's not about what happened to me. It's about what I did next. It's about finding strength when you feel you have none and discovering hope in the unlikeliest of places. The episode transitions into clips of other survivors sharing snippets of their journeys, accompanied by uplifting background music. Scene: Speaking at a national conference. Arjun stands on a stage at a packed auditorium, a large banner behind him reading, National Conference on Resilience and Recovery. Photos of him and Bruno are displayed on a projector screen. Arjun: Resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being able to rebuild yourself, even when the pieces feel shattered. And often, it's the connections we make with people, with animals, with our communities that give us the strength to keep going. The audience gives a standing ovation. Arjun's mother and the volunteers from his team are in the front row, beaming with pride. Scene: Arjun's personal life, a new relationship. Arjun is walking Bruno at the park when he bumps into Priya, the woman who introduced him to Bruno at the shelter. They laugh as Bruno and Priya's dog, Luna, play together. Priya: Looks like Bruno's doing great. Therapy dog life suits him. Arjun, smiling: It's not just him. This whole journey has changed me, too. Priya: Well, you're making a real difference. Maybe we could team up sometime, for the dogs, of course. Arjun, chuckling: For the dogs, absolutely. Scene: International recognition. Arjun is in a large conference hall, receiving an award. The backdrop reads, Global Resilience Summit 2027, honoring changemakers. The audience gives him a standing ovation as he walks to the podium with Bruno trotting beside him. Arjun: Thank you for this incredible honor. But this isn't about me. It's about every survivor, every rescue dog, every person who has faced the impossible and found a way through. Resilience is a universal language, and I hope to continue amplifying these stories so that no one feels they have to face their battles alone. The audience cheers as Arjun raises the award. A montage of smiles, handshakes, and hugs with other survivors follows. Scene: A visit to Arjun's hometown. Arjun walks through his childhood neighborhood with Bruno. He stops by his old school, where kids are gathered for a Resilience Awareness Day event. A teacher waves him over. Teacher: Arjun, we're so proud of everything you've done. The kids have been learning about your story and wanted to meet you. A group of children gathers around Arjun, some petting Bruno, while others ask questions. Child: Were you scared when everything happened? Arjun, kneeling to meet their eye level. I was. And it's okay to be scared. But I learned something important. Being brave doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you keep going, even when you are. The children nod, inspired. One holds up a drawing of Bruno with the words, Hero Dog. Arjun smiles warmly. Scene: Priya and Arjun's partnership. Priya and Arjun co-host a fundraiser gala for rescue shelters and therapy programs. The room is elegantly decorated, with attendees mingling and donating generously. A slideshow displays photos of successful adoptions and therapy dogs working with patients. Priya, on stage: Tonight, we're not just raising funds, we're raising hope. Every life saved, every heart healed, starts with people like you, who believe in the power of second chances. Arjun joins her on stage, taking the mic. Arjun: And, speaking of second chances, Bruno gave me mine. Let's make sure every rescue dog and every survivor gets theirs too. The audience claps as Priya and Arjun share a proud glance, their chemistry growing stronger. Scene: a personal milestone. Wedding day. Arjun and Priya's wedding takes place in a serene outdoor venue. Guests are seated on rows of white chairs adorned with flowers. Bruno and Luna are part of the ceremony, both wearing bow ties. As Arjun and Priya exchange vows, Arjun glances at Bruno and smiles. Arjun, you taught me to trust again, to love again, and to believe in the future. I'm grateful every day that we crossed paths, not just for us, but for all the lives we've touched together. The guests applaud as the couple kisses. Bruno barks playfully and everyone laughs. Scene: launching an international initiative. Arjun, now an established public figure, sits in a meeting with international organizations. A banner reads, Global Resilience Network, connecting stories, creating change. Representative: your work has inspired millions, Arjun. What's next for the Resilience Project? Arjun: we're expanding globally. We want to share survival stories from every corner of the world and create resources for trauma recovery that are accessible to all, regardless of location or background. The representatives nod in agreement, shaking hands with Arjun as the scene fades to a montage of global outreach efforts, workshops in schools, rescue dog adoption events, and therapy sessions in hospitals worldwide. Scene: reflecting on the legacy. Years later, an older Arjun sits in a cozy library filled with books, photos, and awards. Bruno, now gray-muzzled but content, rests at his feet. Arjun flips through a scrapbook labeled, The Resilience Project, Year 10. It's filled with letters, photos, and messages from survivors and supporters. Arjun voiceover. Looking back, it wasn't the awards, the events, or even the global reach that mattered most. It was the people. The lives touched, the hope restored, the strength rediscovered. Resilience isn't just a story. It's a movement. A teenage girl enters the room, holding a leash attached to a playful puppy. Teenager: Dad, ready for Bruno's walk? And don't forget, we have the fundraiser later. Arjun chuckling. Scene: honoring a lifetime of impact. An older Arjun, now in his 60s, is seated at a grand banquet. The hall is decorated with photos and memorabilia from the Resilience Project's history. A banner reads, Lifetime Achievement Award, celebrating Arjun Kapoor. Priya, their daughter, and Bruno's newest descendant, a young dog named Spirit, sit beside him. Host: tonight, we honor a man whose journey from adversity to advocacy has touched millions. Arjun Kapoor didn't just survive. He transformed his pain into a movement that continues to save lives. The crowd applauds as Arjun walks to the podium, supported by his daughter, while Spirit follows obediently. He takes a deep breath before speaking. Arjun: when I started the Resilience Project, I had no idea it would grow into something this big. But it wasn't just me. It was every volunteer, every survivor, every dog, and every supporter who believed in the power of resilience. This award isn't mine. It belongs to all of you. The audience gives a standing ovation. Tears well up in Arjun's eyes as Priya and his daughter embrace him on stage. Scene: a global movement. A montage shows how the Resilience Project has grown into a global initiative. Scenes include a child in Japan reading a translated version of Arjun's memoir, volunteers in Kenya organizing a rescue dog adoption event, a survivor in Brazil sharing their story on the Voices of Resilience podcast, a hospital in Germany using therapy dogs as part of trauma recovery programs. Narrator, voiceover. From one man's story came a movement that transcended borders, languages, and cultures. The Resilience Project became a beacon of hope for millions, proving that no challenge is insurmountable. Scene: a new generation of leaders. Arjun's daughter, now in her 30s, sits in an office with her own team of volunteers. A sign on the wall reads, Resilience 2.0, innovating for the future. She's on a video call with global representatives. Daughter: We're launching a digital platform where survivors can share their stories anonymously, connect with therapists, and even adopt rescue animals virtually. It's about using technology to bring resilience to everyone, no matter where they are. Arjun watches from the doorway, smiling proudly as his daughter carries forward his vision. Scene: a quiet moment with Spirit. Arjun, now retired, sits on his porch with Spirit lying next to him. He's reading letters sent by survivors and supporters from around the world. One letter catches his eye. It's from a young man who writes about overcoming his trauma and adopting a rescue dog after hearing Arjun's story. Arjun, murmuring to himself, full circle. He looks at Spirit and pats his head. The dog looks up at him with bright, trusting eyes, reminding Arjun of Bruno in his younger days. Scene: the final resilience run with Arjun. The 50th annual resilience run is taking place, and it's the largest yet. Thousands of participants, survivors, and rescue dogs fill the starting line. Arjun, now using a cane, is seated in a special viewing area with his family. Daughter, to the crowd, my father started this journey with one story. Today, there are millions of stories, each one a testament to the strength we all carry within us. Let's run for resilience, for second chances, and for the legacy that continues to inspire us all. As the race begins, Arjun stands with difficulty, watching with tears in his eyes. Spirit barks excitedly as the runners pass by. Arjun turns to Priya and their daughter. Arjun, this is what it was all for. Final scene: the torch passed on. Years later, a statue of Arjun and Bruno is unveiled at a city park, surrounded by trees and a plaque that reads, "In honor of resilience, Arjun Kapoor and Bruno." Families and children gather around, some with rescue dogs, others with shirts that read, "Resilience Lives On." A young boy approaches the statue with his parents and looks up at it in awe.
Boy.
Who was he? Parent. He was someone who showed the world that no matter how hard life gets, we can always find a way to keep going. The boy nods, smiling as he pets a rescue dog sitting beside him. The camera pans out, showing the statue, the crowd, and the words on the plaque as the screen fades to black.